Senior U.S. military and intelligence officials are neither confirming nor denying a U.S. helicopter attack on targets in eastern Syria today. Our own Jim Lukaszewski, normally covers the Pentagon, has been speaking to a number of officials, all of whom are saying, I have nothing for you on that, which essentially signals a coordinated attempt to try to keep any possible operation under wraps. But the Syrian government is telling NBC News that 4 U.S. helicopters were involved in an attack along a border town which borders Iraq. Richard Engle is pointing out this is an area where Syrians have essentially been staging cross-border efforts to get into Iraq to provide foreign soldiers as part of the effort there against U.S. forces. And a number of eyewitnesses have been reporting to various news agencies that at least 8 civilians, according to these eyewitnesses, were killed when 4 U.S. helicopters went to this border town. 2 helicopters landed. A number of American commandos got out and attacked a particular building and then got back on the helicopters and left. And again, no confirmation from any U.S. officials, no comment from the Pentagon. All of this is coming from the Syrian government, which has now summoned American diplomats in Damascus in for a meeting to explain all of this. Let's go back to Richard Engle again for another update. Richard?
Here it is. David, just in the last few minutes, Damascus has summoned the U.S. chargé d'affaires in the Syrian capital, demanding answers. Witnesses have also given us more information about what they're describing as an air assault in the village of Syria. It's just a few miles from the border with Iraq, not far from the village of Qa'im, which is in northern Iraq, very close to the border with Syria. This area historically has been a major gateway for foreign fighters, particularly those backing al-Qaeda in Iraq, coming from Syria and entering Iraq. We have not received any confirmation from the Department of Defense that this took place, that it was an American incident. Actually, we've been told that no confirmation would be forthcoming, implying that it was a kind of special operations mission which are not acknowledged by the U.S. military.
Richard, have there been targets, at least in western Iraq, within the Iraqi side of this border that the U.S. forces have been going after in recent weeks and months?
These kind of operations in Iraq take place every single day. Special operations and conventional forces are always targeting the leadership of al-Qaeda in Iraq. Violence has declined significantly recently in part because of these targeted assaults on leaders. And just a few days ago, the U.S. military commander in this part of western Iraq said that there had been an uncontrolled access, an uninterrupted flow of foreign fighters coming in from Syria into Iraq. So this situation has been building for years, and then only just a few days ago there was a specific comment from a U.S. military commander criticizing Syria for not doing enough to stem the flow of foreign fighters from coming from Syria into Iraq. And then just tonight, the Syrian government is calling U.S. officials, U.S. diplomats in Damascus and demanding answers.
And Richard, in the grand scheme of things, as we try to evaluate how angry the Syrian government is and how much of a diplomatic issue this may be, put it in context for us. When an Arab government like the Syrian government demands that U.S. diplomats come in for a meeting, is that considered very serious? Is that not as serious as other steps that might be taken?
How significantly the Syrians react will become apparent in the next hours and the next days. It does not seem that Syria will react in a very aggressive way. Syria itself has been making a claim that it is targeting militant leaders from al-Qaeda in Iraq and other terrorist groups. So its case that it was trying to give any kind of sanctuary to these people would be undercut if it tried to defend them. Syria's argument would be that the U.S. allegedly violated its sovereignty, carrying out a military operation within Syrian borders. I think it's very comparable to what we're seeing right now in Pakistan. In Pakistan, particularly in the tribal areas, there is a safe haven for al-Qaeda and Taliban militants. The U.S., in a similar way, also never acknowledged, will occasionally carry out cross-border missions into Pakistan. And this has, at some stages, been infuriating the Pakistani officials who say this is a violation of their sovereignty. They should be doing it themselves. But they never make too much of a fuss, because at the end of the day, Pakistan and many officials in Syria would also like to see these people eliminated.
NBC's Richard Engle reporting from Baghdad. Richard, great thanks for the report. We appreciate it.